Welcome into the WTOL 11 studio. Thank you all for tuning in. However, you may be watching on our platforms. I am Tyler Seggerman. Pleased to be joined by NLL Commissioner Richard Browne, and a pretty big storyline going into the fall, the expansion of the Northern Lakes League. First things first, we're now here. School year, it's right upon us. Where's the excitement level for you?
Yeah, it's when you look at what we've done over the last 2 to 2.5 years to plan for this, and we're literally a week or so away from playing our first league games in a lot of our sports. The excitement is where it needs to be, and it's at an all-time high for us.
Right. You mentioned the planning process. Obviously, you guys knew, a couple years ago that the track was going away. How did this all kind of come about with bringing in these teams?
Yeah, I think for us as a league, we've got schools that are growing and schools that aren't growing as much, and we took a look at possibly taking the opportunity to expand our league. And that expansion, because we have bigger schools and smaller schools, kind of led us down the path of doing a two-division setup. So when we took a look at everything, we evaluated what we wanted out of a new conference or a new league, and then just put the wheels in motion and went ahead with it.
Right. What do these four schools, Findlay, Whitmer, Fremont Ross, what do they bring, Clay? What do they bring to the NLL? Yeah,
so obviously they're suburban schools, and that's kind of been what the NLL has been for over years and years. And a school like Findlay and Whitmer are bigger schools with bigger student populations, so they compete well with numbers with Perrysburg and Anthony Wayne. And then when you look at Fremont Ross and Clay, their numbers are kind of down in the lower part of our student enrollments. So again, it just kind of brings more balance to our league.
Right. You mentioned the divisions. For anyone who's not aware, obviously with 11 teams now, they kind of almost had to break it up into divisions. Sure. How are they broken up, and will there be any changes in the foreseeable future?
Yeah. So the way we've come up with how division alignment works is we're going to have, for football, we'll have 6 schools over in the Buckeye division, and then we'll have 5 schools over in the Cardinal division. And that's all predicated on the total OHSA enrollment numbers that are published out there by the OHSA. Now, in all other sports, we're going to move that our smallest team in the Buckeye division over to the Cardinal. And it really has to do with football scheduling, why we chose to do that. But so for football, we'll have 6 in the Buckeye, and then for every other sport, we'll have 5 in the Buckeye and 6 in the Cardinal.
Right. Obviously, with having 11 teams, that's an odd number. So I think the first thing people think is, well, will they expand? Are you guys in the market for more teams come in, or kind of what's the focus right now?
We're always reevaluating that, and it is odd to have 11 teams, but that's kind of where we ended up. We went through the process of expansion, and Mommy chose to leave and go to the NBC. So, we're always looking for maybe that 12th, 13th, or 14th team. Ideally, we'd love to get to 16 teams with an 8-team and 8-team division setup. But right now we've got 11, and that's what we're going to roll with. And we've worked hard for 2 years to develop all of our schedules and bylaws to make sure that we're accommodating those 11 teams.
Absolutely. You guys have been working hard. I know that.
We have.
So with the 2 divisions now, will there be like an NLL championship between the 2? How does that, what's the kind of?
Yeah, so we're going to have a champion in both divisions for most sports. There'll be some sports that just based on the number of teams competing or how that sport is set up, that will only have 1 league championship. But when you look at something like football, soccer, volleyball, we're going to have a Buckeye champion out of the big school division, and also a division champion out of the Cardinal division as well.
Awesome. So 2 champions every year right now for the NLL. That's pretty
Absolutely.
Cool. And then you mentioned, obviously, you guys just had the ADs meeting earlier this week. What was the vibe like in that room?
Total excitement, right? I think our ADs deserve all the time off that they can. They didn't work an 8-hour day when you're an AD. You're in at 7 in the morning, and then you're there until the lights get turned off from the last contest of the night. But so they've had a few weeks to kind of slow down here over the summer. But I think everybody loves doing what they do, and they're ready to get right back into it.
Right, and you touched on it at the beginning, but just to wrap this up, what are you looking forward to the most of showcasing and portraying with 11 teams now in the NLL and the expansion?
Yeah, I think anytime you grow, there's always some questions about how that growth is going to go. But I think for us, we're just ready to go play games and see how all this materializes. I keep telling people that the expanded Northern Lakes League, we're going to continue to grow, and we're going to continue to look for growth. So when we get done with the fall season, we're going to reevaluate all of our sports in the fall season and make any kind of adjustments that we need to moving forward. And I think that's how you grow as a family, and that's what we're going to do.
It's a fun new experience. So.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, Richard.
Yeah.
Again, the Northern Lakes League now expanded to 11 teams. They have 2 divisions now, and we're obviously looking forward to seeing how all of this transpires throughout this school year. An exciting time for not only our area sports, but for the Northern Lakes League as well. So looking forward to that. Appreciate all of you tuning in to watch. Thank you.